When he was 9 years old, he was sent back to the countryside. Yusi cries and says goodbye to him. Every holiday in these years, we keep in touch with him. Immediately, he called her. On the phone came a soft and familiar Yusi voice. Amelia, are you having a problem? Is there anything I can help with? Don't worry, this matter is left to my gold broker. Your father Zidni won't know anything if he just does it himself. Yusi's voice is very soft, his voice will make anyone comfortable when he hears it. Of course, the Yusi look and sound match perfectly. As the #1 beauty in this city of 49, Yusi made her debut in the entertainment industry 2 years ago and is now a very popular star. This time, Yusi will not leave a trace. Although Yulia would doubt it, Zidni would never believe that her daughter, who had returned from the countryside, would have the ability to play her part in the entertainment and internet industries. Amelia is really touched. Yusi, when are you going back to Yogya? Yusi raised his eyebrows, his voice became a little more coquettish. What, you miss me? I've heard that you have a new lover, how can you still think of me? Amelia replied in a few seconds, I didn't. Yusi teased Amelia, wow, you're confused, ha ha ha, don't panic, I'm just kidding. Amelia didn't know what to say. Yusi's voice soon followed, hurry up and tell me the truth, tell me about which handsome man is your husband. Sure enough, Yusi was talking about Henry. Yusi is the #1 beautiful woman in Yogyakarta. Don't just look at her like a goddess walking the red carpet, but she likes to gossip too, if you get to know her better. It seemed that someone had spread gossip into his ears. At this time, the bedroom door suddenly opened, and a tall handsome figure entered. It was Henry who had returned from the study. Perhaps because her conscience felt guilty, Amelia, who had just been lying on the bed, was suddenly startled and sat up. Henry came into the room, lifted his slender fingers and unbuttoned the 2 buttons of the black shirt, revealing the man's back. As he turned to look at his little girl by the bed. Before Amelia could look back, she suddenly looked straight into his narrow eyes. They looked at each other. Henry pursed his lips. Did you think of something? No. Amelia dodged. Suddenly there were 2 ding-ding sounds, and his WhatsApp rang. Henry's eyes fell on his cell phone. Why didn't you read the message? Yes. I'll read it later. Amelia clicked the sound from Yusi. Amel, I can see your purpose. Is a handsome and kind man, it loves you. I see you are getting more beautiful. Listening to Yusi say the last 2 words in a very ambiguous tone, Amelia's pretty face burned with embarrassment and almost threw the phone in her hands. The next sound continues to play. His body is very good. I just have a crush on a guy as burly as your husband every time I watch a kung fu movie. We must find a well-built male with such good physical strength. The room became silent. Amelia tucked her cell phone into the blanket. She wanted to hide herself from embarrassment. It's not uncommon to talk about this between good friends, but it's a real shame to be heard by the people involved. Mr. Mahendra, I'm going. I want to take a shower. Amelia ran to the bathroom in a hurry. He stood in front of the sink to get a towel, feeling his fingertips hot. At this moment, he saw Henry in the mirror. He walked with steady steps, half leaning in his trouser pocket through the door. Amelia looked at him. The tall and handsome man was standing against the light, and the bright light covered his handsome face with a glint of light. The man in the black shirt was a little cooler than usual. Amelia looked down quickly. She wore a simple, luxurious black belt around her waist, outlining her narrow waistline. Well, that's what Yusi said, a man with a stout and strong body to hug him every time. Oh my God, what am I thinking? Realizing that she had been carried away by Yusi's words, Amelia quickly stopped her thoughts. Finally, Amelia let out cute words with a sulky tone and asked in her usual tone, "Hey Mr. Mahendra, what are you doing standing there?" Henry saw the sparkle in the girl's sparkling eyes, raised his eyebrows and said, "I think I saw a playful little cat meowing wet there." "Anything?" "Henry, what a gemoy cat." When these 3 words fell, Amelia's little face turned red, and she immediately slammed the towel in her hand against the man's handsome face. Henry didn't hide, his towel fell on his face then fell onto the carpet. He let out a cheerful laugh, to laugh at her. Amelia reached out her hand to close the bathroom door again. Henry immediately bent his knees and he pushed the door. "Are you mad?" Amelia snorted and ignored him. Henry said, "I want to go on a business trip overseas and maybe I won't be here for a long time." Amelia quickly raised her eyes. "Is she going on a business trip?" "This is his first business trip." Amelia stopped being emotional. "When are you leaving?" "Go today, I'll go later." Why so fast? Watch your rest, don't be too tired, okay? Is there nothing else you want to tell me?" Amelia thought for a moment. There was nothing to say, Lahi, so she shook her head. "Nothing." Henry grabbed her slender wrist and gently pulled her. Amelia's slender body slammed straight into his arms. Amelia quickly stood up straight. "Henry, what are you doing?" Before she could finish speaking, he took her little hand and placed it on her delicate waist. Soft palms touched his strong and muscular muscles through the thin cloth. Amelia felt her fingertips like an electric current. He was scared then pulled his body out of his hands. But Henry pressed him down, not letting him back down. His thin lips pressed against his red ears and he lowered his voice. "Is that what you want?" Amelia knew that she had listened to all the voicemails she played earlier, and her heart grew even more embarrassed. "Henry, no kidding, let me go." At this time, there was also a knock on the door, and Mr. Parman's respectful voice came from outside the door. "Master, the special plane is ready, it is time to depart." Henry let go of Amelia. "You won't be able to feel this tomorrow. Remember, it's Amelia. But if you have a problem that can't be solved, contact me. Okay." After that, Henry left. Amelia showered and went to bed. He took out his cell phone and changed the topic of discussion with Yusi. Yusi finally sent a message. "Amelia, I will be shooting scenes overseas for a while. What Yulia has done before, I think I need to dig her up. She's an old fox. It will take some time to dig it up, wait for my info, okay?" Amelia immediately returned to the great past. When it was time for bed, Amelia couldn't sleep. When she closed her eyes, Henry hugged her as she parted, and pressed her hand to make her touch her waist. And he asked it in his ear. "Do you want it?"
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, so that the admin is more enthusiastic to provide entertainment for all of you. See you in the next video.